President Biden is also on the trail today in South Carolina, where he spoke at the Mother Emanuel Church in Charleston, which, of course, is the site of the racist massacre in 2015 that killed 9 parishioners. His speech was meant to focus on extremism, and it drew heavily on the same themes and talking points from his Friday speech on threats to democracy, including attacking his likely opponent, the former President Donald Trump, and his hard-right followers.
They don't have respect for the 81 million people who voted the other way, voted for my candidacy. In their world, these Americans, including you, don't count. But that's not the real world. That's not democracy. That's not America. In America, we all count, and losers are taught to concede when they lose. And he's a loser.
Senior White House correspondent Gabe Gutierrez is with the president in South Carolina. He joins me now. So, Gabe, today's speech comes off his big appeal on threats to democracy last week. Why does the White House think that this is the best message to kick off 2024?
Well, hey there, Ryan. The Biden campaign feels that this is the issue heading into 2024, this existential threat to democracy, which President Biden has been talking about now for several months. You mentioned that speech on Friday. That was the first campaign stop of this year. But several months ago, he was talking about threats to democracy over in Arizona at the McCain Institute. This is a message that the Biden campaign, at least, feels will resonate with voters because it is so important. Certainly other issues important, too, but they feel that this is the main issue heading into 2024. There is a lot of questions, though, about whether, Ryan, black voters here in South Carolina, whether they think it is the main issue. And over the last day or so, we've been speaking with voters here in Charleston, and they have concerns about the Biden administration. They feel that there have been some broken promises. They have wanted the president to do more on things like student debt relief and prescription drug coverage. Take a listen to what some of them told me.
I feel like my generation, my peers, we were promised that student loans would be erased, and that hasn't happened. I think that police reform is also important to us, and also voting rights.
Well, this idea that the Democratic Party has kind of pandered to black people and, promising them all these things, and then they get in office and it kind of feels like they're forgotten. I think that's kind of like the sentiment that a lot of people have, and I think that's one of the reasons now where people, especially young people, care more about, who the right person for the job is versus like what's the right party.
Now, Ryan, of course, the White House did take action on student loans. It was the Supreme Court that ruled that the Biden administration had overstepped, and yet still the White House says that it has wiped out some student loans for some Americans. But that's the question, Ryan. Despite the Biden administration taking action on some of these issues, will voters give him credit for it? Ryan?
Yeah. And of course, we saw during the speech kind of the real world issues that Joe Biden is dealing with as president of the United States and the impact it could have on his candidacy, as there were protesters that attempted to interrupt his speech, calling for a ceasefire. Does this highlight the challenge for Biden this time around as he tries to recreate that successful 2020 coalition? Are the divisions in his party deeper than they were 4 years ago?
It certainly appears that way, and you're right. That incident did highlight those deep divisions within the party. There were several protesters, at least 2 of them shouting in the middle of his speech. At least 5 protesters were escorted out. Now, I should point out that he was in front of a very friendly crowd here at Mother Emanuel Church. They drowned out the protesters by saying 4 more years, and he received standing ovations when he came into the church. But certainly, Ryan, in addition to the concerns about whether the Biden administration is doing enough for black voters, the coalition you mentioned, the Biden campaign, going to have to try to win over some of these progressives who are unhappy with how his administration has been dealing with the Israel-Hamas war, Ryan.
Yeah, and it may not be that they vote for Donald Trump, but that they just stay home, which would be just as big a problem for Joe Biden. All right, Gabe Gutierrez, live from Charleston, South Carolina. Thank you, Gabe, for that report.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.